Today, we are cracking open some source material that paints a pretty startling picture of Georgia's economy.
It suggests the free market might be, well, dying off.
And being replaced by a system of commercial control and a deep dive into what some are calling regulatory capture.
That's right. The term that keeps coming up in the material is a shift to a compliance economy.
Okay, what does that actually mean, a compliance economy?
It means that success is no longer really about having the best product or service.
It's about what?
It's about your fealty to the local power structure, your willingness to play the game.
So let's unpack that. The sources lay out a really clear dynamic for enforcing this loyalty.
A very classic one.
The carrot and stick.
Exactly. And the carrot is pretty obvious. You play along, you get the lucrative government contracts, your permits get expedited.
We get those zoning variances that can make or break a project.
Right. But the stick.
Yeah.
The stick is where the real power is.
And that's the weaponized regulatory enforcement.
Yes. Indefinite delays on permits. Selective code citations. Things that can quietly kill a business that doesn't toe the line.
What's really fascinating here is how the system is, it seems, deliberately engineered.
How so?
The material describes local governments creating zoning codes that are so complex, so contradictory, that 100% compliance is basically impossible.
Which forces everyone to ask for a favor, a waiver.
Exactly. And that's the entry point.
That's where the gatekeepers come in. You see this shadow industry of permit expediters and zoning consultants pop up.
And these are often former officials, or maybe their relatives.
Very often. They become the toll booth you have to pay to get anything done.
We saw this play out very publicly with the Atlanta City Hall investigation.
We did. Vendors were paying bribes to consultants who were really just conduits for city officials, all to get approvals.
But what about outside of direct contracts, say for a big real estate developer? How does that pressure work?
The sources call it soft extortion.
Soft extortion.
Yeah. To even get a zoning hearing, you might be told you have to hire a specific politically connected law firm or make a timely donation.
And if you don't, if you're an outsider trying to do it by the book,
your project just gets tabled indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
And, for a multi-million-dollar development, a 6-month delay can be a death sentence. So you comply.
Okay, so that's how they get the big developers. But what about a small business on Main Street? A bakery or a dry cleaner? They're not looking for zoning variances.
Right. For them, they use the stick.
This is the selective code enforcement.
Exactly. Code officers will just ignore violations by businesses that are, friends of the city.
But for a disfavored business,
they'll get hammered. A ticket for a minor sign violation one day, a noise complaint the next. The goal isn't revenue.
The goal is financial exhaustion.
Precisely.
Who?
They want you to bleed out your capital on legal fees fighting $500 tickets until you just give up.
Is there any legal defense against that? It sounds so targeted.
It's tough because the laws themselves are so vague. They use things like Georgia's good moral character clause to deny or revoke licenses.
Especially alcohol licenses, which can kill a restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. It becomes a tool for political retaliation. There's even a precedent from South Fulton where a hair braiding business was denied a permit explicitly to protect a nearby competitor who had political allies.
So the law is actually being used to crush competition.
To protect insiders. And if that's the local version, the state level sort of ultimate expression of this has to be the certificate of need system in healthcare.
The con laws.
Yes. If you want to open, say, a new imaging center that's cheaper and more efficient, you can't just do it.
You have to prove need to the state.
And here's the kicker. Existing hospitals, who are huge political donors, are legally allowed to object,
giving them effective veto power over their own competition.
It's the ultimate gatekeeping. The result is higher costs for you, the consumer, and less innovation.
So when we step back, this whole deep dive seems to confirm the hypothesis. It's created a bifurcated economy.
It really has. You have the insiders who pay to play, and you have the outsiders who are just trying to offer a good product.
And the outsiders face constant regulatory warfare.
And that leads to something called negative selection. The ethical, innovative entrepreneurs, they just leave. They go somewhere else.
Leaving behind an economy that's almost entirely dependent on this political favor bank. So here's the final thought for you to continue on. If success is based purely on political loyalty rather than on service or quality, what is the long-term cost to innovation and consumer welfare across the entire state? And what happens when that whole network of favors collapses in a single political shift? Something to think about until our next deep dive.